Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Listen and grow as Del questions the status quo, encourages you to think differently, and empowers you to make a better life. Get ready as Del challenges core beliefs, seeks the truth, and reveals the roadmap to the lifestyle you really want. And now your host, multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Del Walmsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Today, my friends, I'm going to tell you a little story about something that just doesn't happen very often, and that is the marketplace has flipped. Yes. The marketplace has flipped from a seller's market to a buyer's market. And I've seen this happen two other times in my life, and I made massive amounts of money during those times. First was 1987, Black Monday, stock market crash, real estate crash in the 80s, 79, 80, early 80s. And I made, really, it's where I began my wealth. And after that, we did great in real estate for a long time, but we didn't make the massive amounts of money that we made again in 2008. 2008, 2009, 2010, I tripled my net worth at least. And it was just unbelievable. I just could not believe. And every time, it's funny, in 87, I didn't know the difference. I didn't know that this was an anomaly. I thought real estate was just easy to buy and easy to make a lot of money with. By the time we got to 2008, I was the only guy around that actually believed this was a great opportunity, because you think about it, 87 to 2008, whatever that is, that's 20 years. People had forgotten. And, during that time, I remember people telling me up until 2008, boy, if I only would have got in back in 87, 88, I could have really made some money. Next time, I'm going to do it. Then when 2008 came around, nope, they're all afraid to do it. They didn't do it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And remorse. I was afraid to get in during that time, but I'll tell you what, if it ever does that again, I'm going to get in. I've heard this my whole life. Now here it is, 2023, and it's happening. The foreclosure market is up 114% or something like that. I looked it up and wrote it down the other day. It's unbelievable. It started. Now, that doesn't mean there's a massive volume of foreclosures yet. It just means it's flipped from going down. It's gone down. The number of foreclosures have gone down every year since 2009. Gone down. There's almost no foreclosures. There's almost no risk to real estate. And because there's absolutely no risk to real estate, what happened was the prices went up and went up and went up and went up. If you can go out there and borrow money for free, 4%. It actually started at 6%, 5%, 4%, 3.5%. If you can borrow at those rates, and there's never been a foreclosure since you ever got into real estate, actually maybe since you've been born, then you've got to believe that real estate is bulletproof. It has no risk. Well, the prices finally got up so high, the inflation got so high, that the Fed had to turn it around. And so they started raising interest rates. First time since 2008, 2009. And when you look at this situation, what's happening is it's taking all the people that have purchased in the last 3 years, that have purchased on these anomaly loans, which because the interest rates are so low, they had to make them adjustable rate interest rates. So the banks didn't go out of business because they knew it couldn't stay that low forever. So they got everybody hooked on these adjustable rate mortgages going, look, the interest rate's so low, just get on this. It's been low forever. It's not going back up. If it does, not much. And then, bam, the Fed hit them. So all these people, in fact, that's a bad statement, many of these people who got in during this time are going to have real problems, if not already have problems. It's just starting to happen. The Wall Street Journal said there's $1 trillion worth of debt out there waiting to be foreclosed on. Now, it's not actually under foreclosure. Don't take that wrong. They're saying they're problem loans. They're upside down loans. They're loans where you could not go refinance them right now because the prices that were paid for those real estate are not what the prices and the values of that real estate is today. So these people are going to be in trouble. $1 trillion worth of trouble. And these are all going to come due in the next 3 years. So this is it, my friends. It started. We've been predicting it for some time now. Been waiting for it for some time. And here it is. The market has started to shift. I'm seeing it. The reports are seeing it. Even the brokers and the mortgage brokers are seeing it and starting to admit to it. They don't want to admit to it. Don't get me wrong. They do not want to admit that the bottom's about to fall out because they're afraid if they sell you something today, the bottom will fall out tomorrow. But it doesn't matter. Take it from me. I purchased in the last recession. I purchased when the market was going down. And I bought stuff that was worth $50,000 a door. I bought it for, I think the first foreclosure deal I bought was like 26, 27 a door. Then the next thing was like 21 a door. Then it was 19 a door. It kept going down. But I made money on every single one of them. After 19 a door, it was 14 a door. And after that, it was 8,000 a door. And that was like the bottom of my portfolio, the lowest thing I bought. Then they started going back up again. But the thing is that on every single one of those, even the first one I bought for 26,000 a door, that property made me $3 million. So it still made money, even though the prices went way down, because the prices, when they go way down, are going to boomerang. That's all there is to it. They're going to go way, way, way down, and then they're going to boomerang back up again when people finally figure out, wow, those prices are so good, somebody's got to buy that stuff. And they will, just as soon as the banks start lending on it again. The banks will have to figure out that the recession's over, that it's safe to go ahead and start lending, and then the deals will get done. Well, I got in there and got them done before and with the banks knowing somebody had to take this stuff over. So let's go to somebody and let them take it over. And what that all leads to is this. Because of this, I've had numerous people say to me, Del, why don't you get back in the business? And why don't you get out there and do this again? And I said, no, I'm too old and I've got more than enough money. But what I'll let you convince me to do, and this is what we are doing, is that I am going to come back as a mentor again and help people. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the seminar this weekend. And the seminar starts with Thursday night, which is a case study. The 7th, with a case study. If you want to go to this case study and see all the examples I'm going to teach you, and also some of the graphs about why this thing's going to blow up, you need to show up Thursday night. To get logged in, you need to go to our website, lifestylesunlimited.com, and find case study and log in and register for case study. Now, if you want to show up this weekend and be taught by me personally, a lot of you have been to other seminars we have, but if you've always wanted to get taught by me, you need to come this time. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday, the 9th and 10th. And if you want to go to that, you need to go to financialfreedomweekend.com. Pretty easy to remember, financialfreedomweekend.com, and register for this event. Now, for those of you that always wanted to have me as a personal consultant, there's going to be an opportunity given at the 2-day for people that want to do that. I'm not going to go into that right now, but just be aware, if you've always wanted me as a personal consultant, there's going to be an opportunity to do that. Now, here's the deal. You are going to have to be at the 2-day to be able to do that. You can't just, hey, I want that personal consulting from Del. No, you got to go. You got to spend time with me. You got to know what I want you to know. You got to be thinking the way I want you thinking, because I'm not going to waste a lot of time giving you a 2-day seminar, 16 hours of information to get you up and going where you need to be, so that when I speak to you, because I want to speak to you from, you remember me saying that the 2-day, that's what we're doing. Boom, let's do it. Right? Step, 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 this. Don't sway. There's no imagination. The only difference is, what do you have to work with? And I'll work with you on that. We'll see what you have and what your best choices are. I'll do that with you all the way through the 2-day, after the 2-day. And for those of you that elect to work with me personally, then I'll do it with you personally afterwards. So here's an opportunity for you that does not come around, will not come around. Many people tell you that. Oh boy, this is an impending event, blah, blah, blah. This is not an impending event. This is an only event. This isn't going to go from city to city to city to city. Yeah, the rest of our seminars will. Our educational 2 days, our case studies are going to just keep going. Yes, there's going to be mentors out there. We've had great mentors forever. This is one time. This is me. Some of you go, oh, scoff at it. That's arrogant. No, it's not arrogant when thousands of people have asked you to do this, and now you're going to do it. This is giving back. And in life, if you help enough other people get what they want in life, you can have whatever you want in life. And I've just always believed that, hey, when the call comes, when the students are ready, the teacher will appear. So it's come to me that it's time. Again, go to financialfreedomweekend.com and register for this weekend. If you want to go to the case study, which I really recommend because these things are all tied together. In fact, the way they work is case studies where we show you what the deals really look like, the real deals. Saturday and Sunday is the basic information you need to know. That's the book work. And then the following week, we go on a road trip and we take you out and show you the real deals, physically see the deals. So it all works together to be able to get you up and going within 1 week period of time and be able to go out there and start buying these deals. Why? Because the marketplace has changed. It has turned. It is time. It is turning around right now. It is becoming the place and the time to triple your net worth if you do the same thing I did with it, either in 2008 when I did it or way back in 87, I guess it was 87. It's there. It's time. You need to get involved. So again, one more time, if you want to go to the case study, go to Lifestyles Unlimited website and register for case study. That is going to be September 7th, Thursday night. It's from 6 to 9. Don't miss that, especially if you're going to come to the 2-day because you're going to want the examples as I use the examples back and forth between days because I need to get live examples to you and then I need to give you book work examples. We go back and forth. I'm not going to bring the live examples into the 2-day because we're going to be deep into learning the information you need. So you need to go to the case study to get the live examples, which I will nail down with technical questions and answers on Saturday and Sunday. And then when you come out of that, if you're one of the people that like to work with me, then you'll have me to answer your questions after that also. Otherwise, all of our regular people are still there and always will be. This is just something special. It's a one-time event. You can't get to it again, ever, because I won't do it. I haven't done it. I haven't done it in many, many years, and I won't do it again. So here it is, financialfreedom.com. That's where you go to sign up, financialfreedom.com. Moving on, today is Mailbag Day, and we have lots of questions here that we want to answer. Let's see if we got a short one because we're running up against the back end of this segment here. We've got... one lady asked me, how did we survive in 2020? Says, I think probably not alone in wanting to hear how some testimonial and guidance and how you and other LUI members handled the situation of the government telling people they didn't have to pay their rent. Could you make that subject in at least one show, podcast, short series on how it was handled and dealt with? I think many are afraid that the fools in the government will bring it back again. Okay, first of all, they're already trying to bring it back, so that's kind of an interesting point that she brings up. Maybe that's why she brings it up at this point, that she's already seeing they're trying to bring it back, the COVID, masking, stop working type stuff. But what happened was we got together as Lifestyles and got all of our most intelligent, educated, on the topic people together, got our attorneys, got our thought leaders, and we went out and we looked at all the possibilities. We read every legal brief that came out, and we put out reports to our members every single time a legal brief came out, not only on what it said, but how you can work around that legal brief to stay legal and at the same time produce a product that your customer will still want to stay at and pay rent at. That's just the beginning. I'll bring it up when we come back from the break because there's more to it. And we'll be right back with the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Teaching you with a roadmap to creating the lifestyle you really want. Keep listening. The Del Walmsley Radio Show returns in moments.
What would you say to women out there, Kelly, if they're thinking about doing this, if they're sitting out there right now going, I'm trapped with a glass ceiling where I work. I know I can't go up any further. There's no room there. What would you say to them about becoming their own boss?
Well, you can decide to stay where you're at and keep trying to crack that glass ceiling. But at the end of the day, in this environment, it is so easy, to be able to get out of that mold. People know me and they come up to me and they're very gracious and they don't look at me and say, oh, you're a woman, I'm not going to invest with you, I'm going to go over here. There's no real gender there.
Are you ready to be a part of a world where there are no glass ceilings, no gender bias, no limits? Start like award-winning real estate investor Kelly did with the online workshop. Register at lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com.
You're hearing the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Want more life-changing knowledge? Access our podcast and listen on demand at lifestylesunlimited.com under the radio tab. Now your host, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. When we went to break, I was answering a question from the mailbag where a lady asked, how do we get through the pandemic? And I explained to her that we had a whole group of staff that was doing nothing but watching what was going on, reading all the legal briefs, getting with our attorneys, figuring out from our super good operations consultants. And when I say super good, that's kind of a Mickey Mouse way of saying, hey, 25, 30 years experience on each one of these ladies. We've also got all of our mentors, which have been in real estate investing for 10, 15 years themselves. And all these people got together and they figured out what you could do to survive this thing. And end result, we survived it very well. We got staff members jumping all over, getting with all the government programs they had out there. And there was many of them where you could get your tenants rent paid for free. And you just had to get them involved in that program. If you just sat around and waited for them to do it, it wasn't going to happen. Even the Class A apartments we had, they just didn't want to go out there and, try to figure the government out. It's a better way to say it. And so we had people that were figuring it out for them and showed, hey, all you have to do is fill this out right here. Get this filled out online, boom, we'll get you back. So we had online sessions in the offices and stuff where people could come in and register for free rent. It was just an amazing thing how they got it all done. Some of our other people where some of the tenants were even in dire straits. They even arranged for food, shelter type arrangements that allowed the shelters to bring food over to their apartments and feed their people because some of them didn't even have jobs and didn't have any food. So they did everything they could do to keep in mind best product, best price, that these people living in your apartment complex are your customers and this place they live is their home. And they don't want to lose their home. I mean, we had some people paying on government housing or government paid housing, right? But it didn't really interfere with what we were doing at all. All right, so moving on from that. Before I go on, I want to again, for those people that just tuned in, let you know that I've decided because the marketplace has turned around, it's now, for the first time in years, a buyer's market. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a 2-day seminar this weekend. I'm going to do a case study this Thursday night. And then I'm going to consult people that want me to consult them personally. Now, if you come Thursday night to the case study, I'm going to show you the documents. I'm going to show you the material, the information, the facts that prove what I'm saying is true. Along with giving you 4 great examples, 2 single-family examples, 2 multifamily examples. If you want to go to that, you got to go to Lifestyles Unlimited website, lifestylesunlimited.com, and look up case study. Sign up for Thursday night, which will be the 7th. If you want to go to the 2-day and spend 2 full days with me learning how to do all this because you don't know how to do what we do, that's going to be September 9th and 10th. That's this weekend, by the way. And it's in Houston if you want to come live. If you want to watch it online, we have it online also, but live is way better if you can get in here and spend 2 days with me because I'm going to give you so much energy and so much knowledge that it's going to be like drinking out of a fire hose. And when you come out of there, you are going to be on fire. You're going to know how to locate, evaluate, negotiate, contract, close, finance, and operate these properties that we're going to be able to buy at very low prices compared to what you could have bought them over the last 20 years. Prices are going down for the first time. Now, by the way, they're not going to stay down. That's the beautiful thing about this. They're going to drop down. There's going to be an opportunity. Those of us that are ready are going to jump on that opportunity. What is luck? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. We are going to jump on that opportunity. We're going to make a lot of money, and then the market's going to come back, and all of our properties we bought are going to be worth tons and tons of money again. Wow. It's that simple, right? It really is that simple. In fact, I have 3 rules. Rule 1, don't lose money. Rule 2, there's got to be cash flow. But Rule 3 is one you have to wait for sometimes, and that is you can't get rich slow. And when you can make massive amounts of return, that's when you need to get involved in this stuff and really take off and make something happen. Let's see here. Next one is corporate competition. Email reads this way. I've been in real estate investing since 2011. I sold and refinanced all my houses starting in 2018 to buy more and better performing properties. I started to notice during the time institutional/corporate single-family purchasers were beginning to dominate in virtually all the building developer neighborhoods. It is my opinion, it's his opinion, by the way, it's not a fact, it's his opinion, with the exception of horrible economic policies of the current presidential administration, political statement, that these corporate entities did a lot of damage to the entire real estate market for both investors and owner-occupants. What are your thoughts? No, I think you're wrong. They really didn't do much. As much as it seems like these big guys own a lot because you're seeing newspaper articles about it and because they buy a lot of them at the same time, the bottom line is they still own less than 10% of all the rental properties in this country. The other 90% is owned by people just like you and I. We own them. They don't. They tried to buy tons of them. It worked for a while, and then they realized that they're still not able to operate at the cost of operation that we are. And so, yes, they made money with them. They did great. But now all of that overpricing, and basically what they did was they paid whatever they had to pay to buy stuff. We're buying stuff on the cheap. We're buying stuff for less than what it's worth. We're locking our profit in up front. These guys were all locking no profit in. They were just paying full price for stuff and buying everything to get their hands on. And they thought if you buy, like anything else in business, if you buy enough of it, if you lose enough money on things, eventually you can lose yourself into a place where you make some money. Didn't work. They realize that now. They're getting behinds kicked, and they're dropping these properties left and right. As fast as they can get rid of them, they're letting them go. Now, did the government mess everything up? Yes, the government messed everything up. What did they do to mess everything up? They made money free. What do I mean by free? When I first started in real estate, interest rates were 11 to 12% in Jimmy Carter era. Terrible, terrible position. They went down to 10. We all felt like, wow, that's reasonable. 9, we go, that's normal. They went to 8. We go, this is great. They went to 7 and 6, and we thought, man, life is too easy. Then they went to 5, and prices started to go up. And then they went to 4, and prices doubled and tripled. Because now people were paying less than a third for the money we had originally paid for that money. Less than half of what most people would ever look or seen money at. And that's a giveaway. And the people that were smart enough not to buy them, all of myself and the people that listen to me, we are going to come in now and buy that same stuff they bought, but we're going to buy it from them anywhere from 50 to 60 cents on the dollar. I'm going to teach this one time in this one location. You can show up live if you want, or you can register for online if you can't get into town. If you want to register for the case study, you got to go to Lifestyles Unlimited website, lifestylesunlimited.com, register for case study the 7th. And if you want to come to the 2-day, you need to go to financialfreedomweekend.com, financialfreedomweekend.com, just like it sounds, all one word, and register there to spend 2 days with me. What do we do? How do we get through this environment? It's going to be scary, guys. Prices are going to be going down, and the old fear of how do you catch a falling knife without getting cut? Well, I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm going to show you what I did to where I tripled my net worth both times, actually, both in 87, back in 2008 also. Let's get back to the mailbag here. I have a person that asked me personally, a couple emails he sent to me, said, look, my friend's buying a condo. I tried to tell him, you said not to buy it. Can you tell us why? And I've never lost money on anything in my life except a condo. I bought it before I knew anything about real estate. I bought it because I was ignorant. Only ignorant people, and ignorant's not dumb, that means you're ignorant of what you're doing. And I thought if I held on to it long enough, it would turn around, but it doesn't, because condos are worth nothing. Why are condos worth nothing? Well, let's start with the obvious. It's not real estate. You don't own anything. What do you own when you buy a condo? You buy something called airspace. You own the air inside of the unit you bought. That's it. You don't own the building you're in. You don't own the ground that the building's built on. You have no say in what happens to the building, and you have no say in what happens to the grounds you bought. So you have no real estate. You own airspace. And you're in a situation where you have dumb people making decisions about your real estate. How do I know they're dumb? because they're dumb enough to be on a condo association board. When I was young, I got onto a condo association board. In fact, a couple of them in different situations, because for some reason I kept thinking I could hit my head up against the rock hard enough that it wouldn't hurt. If I kept hitting my head against the rock, I would figure out how to hit your head against the rock and not break your head open. Didn't work. Every time I got into condo association, what I figured out really quick was all the people in a condo association are idiots. How do I know they're idiots? Because they're in a condo association. Which comes first, chicken or the egg? It comes idiot first, then condo association. Condo associations make absolutely terrible decisions about the real estate you think you own, but you don't really own it. The condo owns it. And you own 1/67th, 1/84th, 1/216th, whatever your share of the ownership of that area is. That's all you own, but you have no control. The secret in real estate investing is control. If we have total control of what we do, we make a lot of money. If we have no control, we make no money. In fact, we lose money. So in many cases, these condo associations will do they'll fail in one of two areas. I was in one condo association where they overpaid for everything, and they wanted everything to be perfect, and they wanted everything to be pre-repaired. So they spent millions and millions of dollars on repairs, and they had special assessments all the time for things they wanted, and they raised the association fees so high so that they could have money for the board to spend, because they were just wanted to spend. They're like drunken Democrats, man. It's what it was like. It was like a room full of drunken Democrats. Now, on the other hand, I was in other condo associations where the people were cheap. They were like drunken Republicans, drunken conservatives. They wouldn't spend a dime. And so people would contact them. And like the example of the story of the question that came out is that somebody, and this happened on the radio show a couple weeks ago when I brought it up. It was a lady had a condo, she bought it, and I told her not to do it after the fact. Obviously, she did it. And she said they wouldn't fix the water leak in her wall, and it ended up ruining her whole condo. Then they sued her, saying the water leak was her fault. And so not only did she not get the repair done, she got sued for the damages to the whole building. Now, if you owned a house and you had something go wrong, you just do the repair. This lady had to actually sue the association to do the repair. Then they countersued her for the damage because she didn't do the repair. There you go. Don't buy condos. The rest of you, get into this weekend. Get to the seminar. You got to get there again. It is financialfreedomweekend.com. Hope to see you there. The rest of you, remember this. Not the money, it's the lifestyle. Have a great day.
The information and opinions you hear on the Del Walmsley radio show are those of the host, Del Walmsley, his guests, and his callers. The Del Walmsley show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Del Walmsley show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.